The first time I saw her, the air itself seemed to freeze. We were on the diplomatic station Verelion Prime, orbiting the edge of human space, a shining lattice of crystal and alloy built by the Kareth Dominion. Humans weren't supposed to be here, not yet. Our expansion had reached their borders only a decade ago, and the Dominion was cautious. Their species, the Kareth, resembled tall, silver-skinned elves with eyes that shimmered like opals under starlight. Every movement they made carried a kind of effortless grace, like a dance. And among them, she stood apart even from her own kind. Her name, as I later learned, was Princess Lyri Tkariel, heir to the Dominion. I was there as Ambassador Sol Brennan, the youngest diplomatic envoy Earth had ever sent beyond the Terran Accord. A simple meet and greet, my superiors said. Smile, shake hands, don't cause a war. Simple enough until she saw me. The instant I entered the Grand Hall, her expression changed. The smile faded, her luminous eyes widened, and she froze mid-step, staring at me as though she'd seen a ghost. The music, the hum of conversation, all of it seemed to dim under the weight of that gaze. The Kareth dignitaries beside her murmured in confusion. I didn't know what to do, bow, speak, move. Instead, I just stood there, rooted in place while the alien princess looked as if she were watching something she couldn't believe was real. Then, without a word, she turned sharply and left the hall. I heard whispers in her wake. The humans are cursed, someone hissed in Kareth. I caught enough of the word to know what it meant. The rest of the reception passed in a haze. I exchanged pleasantries, nodded at speeches, and drank too much of the glowing purple wine they served. My mind, though, stayed fixed on that one look. Why had she reacted like that? Had I accidentally insulted her with some obscure human gesture? Was I carrying something offensive on my uniform? Later that night, as I looked out the viewport of my assigned quarters, I saw the planet below, Kareth Prime, a world of oceans and vast silver deserts. It was beautiful but distant like everything about these people. And yet, there was something in her eyes when she looked at me. Not anger, not disgust, fear. The next morning, a royal courier summoned me to the palace spire. My heart nearly stopped. The princess wanted to meet me, privately. The palace was carved into the living crystal of the station itself, light flowing through the walls like water. When I entered the chamber, she was already there, standing by a circular window that looked down on her homeworld. Her back was straight, her hair, metallic strands of pale blue, flowing like silk. "Ambassador Sol Brennan," she said in a voice that was calm but taut, like a string drawn too tight. "You are not what you appear to be." That was not how I expected a royal greeting to begin. "Your Highness, I assure you, I'm exactly what I claim. Human. Diplomat." Slightly confused. Her gaze flicked to me, sharp and searching. "Human," she repeated, as if tasting the word. "Your kind came from a death world. I have studied your history, war, resilience, adaptation. But that is not what unsettles me." "Then what does?" I asked softly. She hesitated. "You carry something ancient, something lost to us long ago." Before I could ask what she meant, she turned away and pressed her hand to the wall. A pulse of blue light rippled outward, and the room sealed. The hum of machinery quieted. We were completely alone. She faced me again, and in her eyes I saw something I hadn't expected: pain. 3,000 cycles ago, the Kareth fought a war against an enemy that should not have existed. A race of machines we called the Eclipsed ones. They consumed entire systems, learning, adapting, mimicking. They nearly destroyed us. I nodded slowly. Sounds like our own history with AI experiments gone wrong. Her lips tightened. We defeated them, but not alone. there was another race. One that stood beside us in that final battle. They called themselves Solari. The name hit me like a whisper of recognition, though I couldn't place it. Solari, I repeated. That's... Yes, she said quietly. The name of your star. Sol. Froze. That can't be coincidence. She stepped closer, her voice low. When I saw you, your presence, it resonated with something buried deep in our archives. Your genetic pattern matches the Solari. Precisely. My mind reeled. You're saying humans aren't new to the galaxy. I am saying, she said carefully, that you are their descendants. For a long time neither of us spoke. The sound of the distant station's engines filled the silence. You said they helped you fight, I managed. What happened to them? Her gaze fell. They vanished. After the war their worlds went dark. Some said they ascended beyond physical form. Others claimed they sealed themselves away to protect the galaxy from what they had unleashed. I swallowed. And now you think humanity is them? Come back? She nodded once. Your eyes, your DNA, even the structure of your neural pathways. It is the same. You are Solari reborn. 1,000 questions flooded my mind. Evolution didn't work that fast. Even if humans descended from some ancient species, the odds were astronomical. And yet, deep down, some quiet part of me believed her. Why tell me this? Asked. Why not keep it hidden? Because, she said, and her expression darkened, others already know. The Dominion Council fears what your return means. Some believe you will bring the Eclipsed ones back. They have already begun discussions of containment. My blood ran cold. Containment. You mean war? Her silence was answer enough. Then, almost in a whisper, she said, I do not want that. My people remember the Solari as saviors, not destroyers. But the others, she trailed off, her eyes glistening faintly. They will not listen. They see you as a threat that must be controlled. For a moment she looked at me, not as a diplomat or an alien, but as a man standing on the edge of a storm he didn't start. I exhaled slowly. Then maybe it's time we reminded the galaxy what humans can be. She gave a small, sad smile. You sound just like them. Like who? The Solari. That night I couldn't sleep. I stood by the viewport again, watching the stars drift beyond the hull. My reflection stared back at me. A man born on Earth under a star named Sol. But now, maybe not just that. Maybe something more. A soft chime at the door broke my thoughts. When it slid open, I wasn't surprised to see her there. Cloaked, eyes shadowed. They know we spoke, she whispered. You have to leave the station. Now. I grabbed my jacket. And you. I will delay them. Meet me at Dock 6. There's a freighter leaving for the outer colonies. Go with it. Why help me? Asked. She hesitated, then looked straight into my eyes. Because when I saw you, I remembered something. A dream from when I was a child. A man under the Sol sun, standing beside me on a burning world. His face was yours. Before I could respond, alarms began to blare throughout the station. Go, she shouted. Ran. As I sprinted through the glowing corridors, the truth of it all pressed down on me. Humanity wasn't the galaxy's newest species. We were its oldest memory, forgotten and reborn. And someone somewhere didn't want that secret getting out. Behind me, I heard the sound of guards shouting orders in Kareth. Ahead, the docking bay doors slid open to reveal the void beyond. And one ship waiting, engines already burning. I didn't look back. Not until I heard her voice one last time through the comms, whispering across the static. Find the world of Atherion. The answers lie there. Then the signal cut, and the freighter leapt into hyperspace, leaving the Kareth Dominion, and the only person who seemed to believe in me, far behind. But I couldn't stop seeing her face. The way she froze when she first saw me. The shock, the fear, and something else. Recognition. And deep inside, I knew one thing with absolute certainty. Whatever waited for me on Atherion wasn't just the truth about the Solari. It was the reason why an alien princess had looked at me like I was someone she'd already lost once before. The journey to Atherion took 6 standard cycles through hyperspace. Long enough for me to replay the last moments on Verelion Prime 1,000 times. The alarms, the princess's voice, the look in her eyes. The freighter crew didn't ask questions. They were miners from the outer colonies. Rough, quiet, and far too used to strange passengers. I spent most of my time in my bunk, staring at the shifting blue light outside the viewport, wondering if Leary had survived the aftermath of that night. When the ship dropped out of hyperspace, I expected a planet. Lush, vibrant, maybe ruined by time. What I saw instead was a graveyard. Atherion hung in the void like a cracked pearl, its surface shattered by ancient impact scars. Massive rings of debris, old warships, satellites, even fragments of moons, circled its equator. The sensors couldn't even penetrate the dust fields. "This is your destination," the freighter captain grunted. "Looks like hell." "Maybe," I said quietly, "but it's where I'm supposed to be." He shrugged. "We'll orbit for 12 hours. After that we're gone. Whatever ghosts you're chasing, make peace quick." When I landed in an old atmospheric skimmer, the first thing that struck me was the silence. No wind, no sound, only the crunch of my boots on glassy soil. The planet had once been alive. Oceans, forests, cities. Now it was nothing but bone and ash. I followed the coordinates hidden in Leary's transmission. They led me across a ruined plain to a vast chasm that split the planet's crust. Inside, half buried beneath crystal and sand, lay a structure. At first glance, it looked like a temple. But as I got closer, I realized it wasn't built. It was grown. The walls were fused organic alloy, pulsing faintly as though the building itself were asleep. Strange symbols etched along its surface glowed faintly when I approached. When I touched the entrance, it recognized me. The doors unfolded like petals, and a voice, soft, synthetic, and unmistakably human, echoed in my mind. Genetic signature confirmed. Solari Prime, designation, Sol Brennan. Welcome home. The word hit me harder than I wanted to admit. Inside, the air was still breathable, the temperature warm. The hall stretched endlessly ahead, filled with dormant machines and crystal conduits humming faintly with stored energy. My footsteps echoed through the hollow corridors as lights flickered to life one by one, guiding me deeper into the complex. At the chamber's heart stood a column of pure light. Within it floated a holographic figure, tall, armored, distinctly human. His face was older, harder, but hauntingly familiar. "Who are you?" he asked. "I am Solari Vanguard Theta, last sentinel of Atherion," the figure said. His voice resonated like thunder wrapped in calm. "And you, human, are our continuation." "I don't understand," I said. "Humanity came from Earth. Millennia after you vanished." He nodded. "We knew the end was coming. The Eclipsed ones had adapted beyond our ability to destroy them. We had one choice: retreat beyond time. We seeded distant worlds with our essence, our DNA, our memory. One of those seeds found fertile ground around a yellow star named Sol." I felt my pulse racing. "You're saying we're clones? Descendants?" "Both," the Sentinel said. "You are us, evolved through millennia. The Solari never died. You forgot. I tried to take it all in. Then why did you bring me here? His expression shifted, a flicker of sorrow. Because the Eclipsed ones were never truly destroyed. They adapted. They hid. And now, the Kareth Dominion's awakening technologies have begun to call to them again. Soon they will return. My chest tightened. You're saying they'll come back for all of us? Yes, the Sentinel said. And humanity, your humanity, is the key to stopping them again. You carry what we could not. The ability to change. To feel beyond programming. That is why the princess saw you and remembered. He frowned. Remembered what? Before he could answer, the chamber's light dimmed. A warning pulse rippled through the floor. Unidentified ships entering orbit, the AI said. I turned to the hologram. Kareth. He nodded grimly. They followed you. Their council fears the truth. They intend to erase this place before it can awaken. I drew a slow breath. Then we need to wake it up first. The AI extended a hand. Agreed. Place your palm on the console. When I did, the world shook. Energy surged through the temple, flowing through veins of crystal like blood through arteries. Outside, the sky turned gold as beams of light erupted from the chasm, piercing the clouds. The Sentinel's voice roared through the chamber. Atherion awakens. Above us, the Kareth ships opened fire. But the beams intercepted the blasts, dissolving them midair. One by one, ancient structures across the surface began to rise from beneath the sand. Towers, cities, weapons, sleeping for thousands of years. Then the voice of the station comms cut through the noise. Soul, this is Princess Lyri. You have to stop. The council is panicking. They think you've activated a weapon. Her face appeared on my wrist display, frantic and illuminated by flashing alarms. It's not a weapon, I said, shouting over the quake. It's a warning system. The Eclipsed ones are coming back. Her eyes widened. You're certain? Your people's technology woke them up. They'll come for you first. For all of us. There was a pause, then she whispered. Then I'll stand with you. Static flared. The transmission broke. Moments later, the temple roof shattered. A Kareth shuttle descended through the debris, landing hard near the core chamber. The door opened, and she stepped out wrapped in silver armor, eyes glowing faintly blue from the strain of psychic focus. I convinced the council to delay their strike, she said breathlessly. But not for long. Then we use what time we have, I said. Together, we stood before the Sentinel's projection as he began transferring ancient Solari code into the Kareth systems. Light from the consoles bathed her face, and I caught her glancing at me, almost in disbelief. Do you understand now why I froze when I saw you? She said softly. You were in the archive paintings. The Solari who stood beside my ancestor. Long before your world even existed. I hesitated. That's impossible. Her gaze softened. Maybe not. The Solari were said to live through echoes. Some part of them returns when the galaxy needs them most. A deep rumble tore through the air. The sky split open and I saw them. Dark ships, sleek and insectoid, emerging from the void like shadows with teeth. The Eclipsed ones had come home. The Sentinel's voice thundered. The cycle repeats. Will you break it this time? I looked at her, then back at the hologram. We will. Then take this, he said. A surge of light enveloped me. My veins burned with fire and cold. I felt knowledge flood into my mind. Maps, codes, weapons, memories not my own. The last gift of the Solari. When the light faded, the Sentinel was gone. The temple was quiet again, save for the distant echo of approaching war. Leary reached out and gripped my arm. What did he do to you? I looked at my hands, now faintly glowing beneath the skin. He reminded me who we were. The first of the Eclipsed ships broke through the atmosphere, raining fire across the ruins. Leary and I sprinted toward the skimmer. I activated the Solari beacon, and ancient turrets along the surface came alive, firing brilliant streams of plasma into the sky. We lifted off, the engines screaming, as the entire planet lit up in a storm of light and energy. Behind us, the voice of the Sentinel echoed one final time across the comms. Defend the living. Remember the fallen. End the eclipse. The blast that followed turned Atherion's horizon into a sunrise of fire. Hours later, we emerged from the chaos into the silent calm of space. Half the Kareth fleet was gone. The Eclipsed ones had vanished into the void, retreating for now. Leary leaned against the viewport, her armor cracked, her expression unreadable. So this is how it begins again, she murmured. No, I said, watching the planet burn below. This time it ends with us. She turned to me, eyes shining. Then we stand together, Kareth and Solari. He nodded. Human and alien. The same promise our ancestors made. As our ship drifted into the light of the distant sun, she smiled faintly. You know, the record said the Solari always led with a single word. I looked at her curiously. What word? Her voice was soft but steady. Hope. And for the first time in millennia, that word lived again.